everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Shaneria and this is Talk and Crime. Today we have another reaction video, but before we get started, join the family by subscribing, and if you are returning, I really appreciate you. And as you know, we like to get straight into these videos, so let's get started.
My sister and brother-in-law found a baby roaming around their neighborhood at 7 a.m. in the morning. At 7 a.m. in the morning. And this story is so freaking crazy. Y'all, let me tell y'all what happened. So my brother-in-law works early, so it was about 7 in the morning. He's going to his car to leave to go to work, and he sees this little boy walking around outside in the parking lot. Mind you, there's literally a lake in their backyard. A lake, and my sister has mad pictures of alligators in the freaking lake, right? So my brother-in-law was like, hey little boy, like, where's your mommy? Like, where are you supposed to be at? He texts little boy, and then he calls my sister, and he's like, hey, I gotta go to work, but I just found a little baby down here. Can you come get him and, you know, like, handle this, right? So my sister goes and gets the little boy, brings him back to her apartment, and then she's asking him, like, do you know where you live? Because he could have just, like, got out. You know, kids are really smart. They can open doors, right? So the little boy is able to show her where he lives, and she goes to his house and is, like, screaming in the door, hello, hello. And the little boy's like, ain't nobody here. It's just me. Nobody is here. Mommy is not here. My sister says the house is like really clean from what she can see, but she doesn't feel comfortable going in. So she tells the little boy, okay, go get me a diaper and a change of clothes and then come back, right? So she recognizes the little boy because she has a dog, so she walks her dog a lot, and so she's seen this little boy with his mother before. So she takes him back to her apartment, and then she ends up going back to like the call box. So for their neighborhood, it's like a fob entry. So she goes to the callback box now that she has the apartment number, and she calls the mother and leaves a voicemail, calls multiple times, and then leaves a voicemail like, hey, it's your neighbor, this is my number, I have your son, blah, 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 right? So then she calls my mom because she's like, Mom, I don't feel comfortable having somebody else's child in here by myself, so can you come over, right? Now she lives in an area where there's like a Publix nearby, you know, so she's thinking maybe the lady just went to Publix or to the gas station and thought her baby was asleep. Like, I'm just gonna wait a few before I call the police, because it could just be like, you know, definitely a bad choice, but a learning experience, right? So they feed the little boy. He's very nice, friendly, jumping off the wall, happy baby, very well taken care of. He was 3 years old. Okay, so after 45 minutes and not hearing back, literally 45 minutes, my sister calls the police because she's like, okay, something could have happened to his mother, and I'm just around with this little boy, you know, trying to spare her from getting in trouble. And your child has been with me for 45 minutes. We don't even know, like, if he had been roaming around before we, you know, found him, but it's been 45 minutes. So she calls a non-emergency number, and then 15 minutes after she called the police, the mom actually texts her. And so she calls the mom, and the mom was like, yeah, I'm coming. But she wasn't like frantic or anything. Like, she was just like, okay, yeah, I'm just mom, I'm coming. Very weird. My sister does tell her that, like, hey, I called the police because I done had your baby almost an hour, right? Well, actually an hour at this point. And 5 minutes later, the police showed up. And so my sister tried to tell them, like, hey, I've already spoke to the mom. It's all good. But they're like, no, the baby was roaming around. Like, we need to make sure that this baby is okay, and we need to take a statement. So this is Jacksonville, y'all, and I was in Jacksonville at the time. So my mom had to leave. So my sister calls me and was like, can you come over or whatever? So they take my sister's statement. They're asking her a bunch of questions, blah, blah, check out the little boy. And they're kind of waiting. And then the male officer, so it's the female officer and the male officer. The male officer is pissed because he's like, this could have ended terribly. Like, there's no excuse for leaving your child unattended. Like, my sister's trying to show grace. Like, she's a single mom. Like, I see her all the time. You know, I think she just made a mistake. So the male officer was like, give me her phone number. And then him and the female cop go outside to call. So the female cop comes back in, and she's like, hey, you know, like, how often do you babysit him? And my sister's like, babysit him? I don't babysit him. I don't know this little boy. And she's like, oh, really? Because the girl just said that you're her babysitter. Yeah.
And you didn't ask me to cover up for you? First of all, I can't cover up for you because this baby was in danger.
Yes, the girl freaking lied. Mind you, like, she didn't even text my sister, like, can you say that you babysit for me? Like, none of that. Like, so just a terrible look. So the man comes back in, the male police officer, and he was like, she literally said that it's going to be another 30 minutes before she gets here. Y'all, it was 2 hours. It was 2 freaking hours before she got there. So they take her and the little boy downstairs, and I guess go check out her apartment or whatever. And after about an hour, my sister texts her like, hey, are you okay? Is everything good? And she was like, no, I'm going to jail. So my sister's like, ooh, yikes. Okay, so the next day, so she went to jail. The next day she texts my sister.
Probably wasn't gonna go to jail if you would have came when you said you was on your way instead of waiting 2 hours. But little girl, That's like 3 hours you wasn't around your child.
I said, hey, just want to say thank you for watching my baby or whatever, keeping him safe, blah, blah, blah. My sister was like, oh, no worries. If you ever need anything, just let me know. He's such a fun little boy. And the girl told her, like, I don't have him back yet, but I'm working to get him back. You would think that's where the story ends. You would think that's where the story ends until a month and a half later, because this been happened. This was months ago. A month and a half later, the baby daddy gets my brother-in-law's phone number and calls him. I'm so sorry I'm having to do a part 2 because this is already 5 minutes, but y'all, explosive conversation. Okay, so this is part 2 of my sister and brother-in-law found a baby roaming around their neighborhood at 7 o'clock in the morning. So I left off with the baby daddy contacted my brother-in-law. So what happened was my brother-in-law gets a text message and it says, is this first name, last name, date of birth, his date of birth? And he was like, what the heck? What are you talking about? Like, so he tries to call the number, they're not answering. And the person texted him like, do you know so-and-so? And my brother-in-law, so mind you, it's a girl name and a boy name, but it's not clicking to him because it's been a month and a half, maybe it's 2 months, I'm not sure. And so he's like, dude, I'm a married man, I don't know what the hell you're talking about, don't text me no more, and blocks him, right? Or blocked the number. Well, the next morning, early in the morning, the number starts calling him. Well, a different number starts calling him, but it's the same person. And he answers, and it's the baby daddy. It's the child's father. So the child's father is basically wanting my brother-in-law to explain to him what happened. And my brother-in-law is like, I'm not explaining anything. Like, whatever y'all got going on, that is between y'all two. Y'all need to discuss it and figure out what happened. But we're not involved in this anymore. We did our part. And the dude is just like going back and forth. Well, if it was your baby, you would want to know. You would want to know. She said that she was only gone for like 30 minutes or an hour, blah, 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 whatever. The girl was clearly lying to him. And he was like, and she's lying. And I'm just trying to figure out what happened with my son, blah, blah, blah. And my brother-in-law was like, that's fine. But like, we had the baby. My wife had the baby this long. That's all. That's the only thing that we can offer you. She had the baby for 2 hours. I'm not going through the run through of everything where he was at. Like, that is between y'all. Okay, so we're over here like, so my sister, because she ended up texting me, like she sent me a little snippet of my brother-in-law going off, but we're like, why is this coming back up? Why is this coming back up? I know exactly why it's coming back up. It's coming back up because the police report dropped. The police report dropped, and clearly what she had told him and her family, whatever, did not align with what was in that police report. So we had to get a copy of the police report. We know we had to get a copy of it, and we realized that's how the baby daddy got my brother-in-law's information, because he was the one who found the baby. His name and date of birth was on the police report. Y'all, this police report was so bad. It was so freaking bad. Now, they do note in the police report that her house was very clean. It was very stocked, had kids' toys, had food, diapers, she definitely takes care of her child. But the police report did state that she admitted that she has left the baby alone before, right? And let me just back up before I even get into the police report. It's just crazy because after reading that police report, there was no reason why he would need to contact my brother-in-law, because her statement alone, even if they didn't get my sister's statement or whatever about what happened, her statement alone is so bad, like what she admitted to and the lies that she got caught in. You don't need to be calling anybody. At this point, you're just in denial. You're just in denial that your baby mother, left that little boy. So this is part 3 and the last part, and I'm going to talk about what was in the police report. So like I said, she admitted that she has left the baby alone before, and she said that she has to work 3 jobs in order to care for her son because she's a single mother, and she does not get assistance from the government because she is over the threshold of income that you can make in order to get assistance. So she works multiple jobs, and I guess she has an overnight job as like a home health aide or something like that. And so she does typically, I guess, put him to sleep and then goes to her job and comes home, right? Now let's talk about the lies that she got caught in. So she said that her sister was going to come to her house to watch her baby. They tried to call the sister. The sister did not answer, and they checked her phone records, and it showed that the sister that she said was supposed to come to her house, at some point in the night, she sat on the phone with her for an hour. So it's like, you didn't think that your sister was going to be at your house because y'all sat on the phone for an hour, probably kikiing about whatever, knowing you knew that your sister was not at your house. Then they asked her for the names of the clients that she went to see, or the patients that she went to see that night. The first patient said no, she was not here. The second patient would not open the door for the police to confirm if she had seen them that night or if she was really at work. Now, this is the worst part. This is the worst part. And this is why I say this man had no reason, the baby daddy had no reason to call my brother-in-law. So, basically, when they told her that she was going to be arrested, they asked her if she had anybody she can call to come get the little boy. So she called some gentleman to come get the little boy. He came and got the little boy. The police asked him, when was the last time you seen this girl? And he told the police that he last seen her at 5 a.m. She came to his hotel room. So what I gathered, what it sounds like to me, is she probably did go work, and she probably does this all the time, leaves him, puts the baby to bed, goes to work, and then just comes straight home. But instead of going home this time, she went and pulled up on this man and maybe fell asleep because she just worked or whatever. I'm thinking that she fell asleep because she wasn't answering her phone. My thing is, you trust this man to come get your child. He knows you have a child. Why couldn't he just come to your house? Why couldn't he just come to your house? So yeah, she was with a man. But again, her statement saying that she had left him, home alone before, and this man saying, yes, she was with me this morning. Why is the baby daddy calling my brother-in-law? And even though she was dead wrong, I still feel like, okay, as far as his baby daddy goes, why is your baby mother working 3 jobs? Let's take away the part of her going to see the man, okay? Let's just pretend like she was working. Why is she working 3 jobs to support a child that took 2 of y'all to make? And why did she not call you? Like, why did she call another man to come get the baby? Like, very, very weird. And so the police report that said she was ordered no contact with the child, which I don't think that she's just not going to see her child. The child is probably with family, and she's probably just seeing the child, but they can't tell that she's seeing the child. And she was charged with like felony child abuse or child neglect, something like that. And yeah, I don't know what happened. Obviously, she's probably going through a court case, going through a DCF case. I'm not sure, but very crazy. I feel like I might be leaving some stuff out, but yeah, y'all.
So let's just pray that hopefully defects gave the child to the father, and maybe now the father is trying to like see what's up because he read the police report and she's telling something totally different. But sir, like, stop calling people because they gave their statement. That's the end of it with them. But I understand, like, he's concerned, but how did the other dude came involved to the point where she trusts him enough to get the child? Like, how long him and her have been dating? She don't want the child around him. She don't want him to come to the house. Understandable. But then you turn around and call him when you really need him to get the child instead of the child's father. Like, how you trust him to get the child but don't trust him enough for him to come to your house? Right? I can understand if she don't want her child to meet him, and that's why, like, she was at the hotel with him, which don't make any damn sense because you got a child at home and you shouldn't have been at the hotel with him. But maybe she didn't trust him enough or get to know him enough for him to come to the house, so she was trying to keep it discreet by not allowing him to come to the house yet. But what bothers me is, like, if that's the case, why did you phone him out of all people to come and get your son if you didn't trust him at your house yet? Right. And then furthermore, when the police asked you to come and you took 2 hours to get there, you probably was stalling so you won't, because you knew you was going to get arrested. But that was on you, because probably if you would have got there when you said that you was going to get there, they would have cut you some slack. But and you said that you've been leaving that little boy in the house, so this is nothing new. So of course they're going to lock you up. You're going to be charged and possibly lose your home health care job, because when you have stuff involving children or neglect or abuse or anything on your record, you cannot get a job in the healthcare field. It will be hard to get a job. So you really gonna have to fight to expunge it or whatever it is. But you bring it on yourself, because not once, not this was the first time, but you leave that child in the house alone a lot. This is when 2 parents come into play. One parent can't do it on its own. She had 3 jobs, no babysitter. Why wouldn't the father keeping the child? Was he working 3 jobs too? Like, it's crazy. It should have been some type of co-parenting where the father covers the babysitting costs by getting his own child, so nobody would have to pay a babysitter, right? And then you not only said that your sister's supposed to be coming, trying to get your sister in some trouble, because she could have gotten in trouble if that was true, but you also stated that the young lady that had your son usually babysits him. Girl, now you know that was a lie. They found that baby. You should just been honest. And if you was going to use her as, oh, she watches my son, you should have texted her to confirm, was that okay? Because she might have been like, you know what, I don't want you to go to jail, I don't want you to get in trouble. You know what I'm saying? Like, let me help you. Because she was trying to help you by stalling. But what if something would have happened to you? Like, and she just had your child trying to hope that you don't get in trouble. You got to think. And next time, hopefully you don't do this again. This is not healthy for you or your son, especially at that age. Being left in the house is just crazy work. So you guys, drop down in the comment section what you think about this story. If you are new here, join the family by subscribing. Over here, we get to the reaction video. We get to the point and then we address it after. So you guys, don't forget to like, comment, join the family by subscribing. And if you are returning, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. You guys, I hope you have a blessed day. Peace.